Can anybody here say God's been good to you all week long? Come on, throw your hands up and say, Lord, you've been good to me. Yes. As we're going into our worship, we're giving total praise. God, I surrender my all. I surrender my all to you. You are the source of my strength. You are the strength of my life. I lift my hands in total praise to you. Yeah. You are the strength of my life. I'm going to lift my hands in total praise to you. Yeah. Oh, come on, everybody. You are here. Oh, come on. Come on, worship him now. You are the strength of my life. For that, I'm going to lift my hands. Yes, I will. In total praise. Yeah. Oh. Come on, sing that again. Sing that again. Come on, sing that again. You are. Oh, thank you, Jesus. You are the strength of my life. Yes, you are. Yeah. I'm going to lift my hands. Yes, I am. Yeah. In total praise.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to the Plow. Again, it is an honor and a privilege to be here with the saints of the Most High God. We thank God for each and every one of you who have made it here with us this morning once and again as we glorify and magnify our risen Savior, Master, Ruler, and King. My name is Dominique Campbell, and it is an honor and a privilege to be here to continue to serve God's people and to do God's will. And so with great grace, we honor each and every one of you who have made it on the line. Whether you are on Facebook or YouTube, we just want to say good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a time that we will have to acknowledge our thankfulness towards God and all the things that he has done and all the things that he shall do in each and every one of our lives. And so, again, we are just grateful for his grace and his power, his authority and his presence as he continues to allow for us to grow and to expand into what he has called us to in this hour and this time. And so thank you once and again for being here with us. And we are honored to continue to serve God and his people and to continue to do what God has called for us to do. So it is Thankful Thursday. This is the day that we have set aside and earmarked for that of just telling God thank you, right? Just understanding that there is always a reason to be thankful. And so if you missed yesterday, you missed a great time in teaching and a great time with myself and Dr. Hill as we walk through different passages of scripture, Luke 22, the book of Romans as well. And then we walk through that of 1 Samuel chapter 12 on yesterday as well, dealing with leaders who pray, dealing with being in a posture and a position to do God's will and continuing to serve him regardless of our personal circumstance, right? And so we did our best to help each and every one of you to pursue God, to experience his presence, and to go for his glory, right? Good morning to Lady Kathy Grisham. God bless you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning to that of Elder David McKinney. God bless you, sir. Uh, uh, to that of Miss Gwendolyn Hawkins. Good morning and good morning and good morning. To that of Minister Tamika Baker. God bless you, woman of God. We honor God for you this morning. To that of Apostle Francesca Long. Good morning to you, sis. Grace and peace. And it is an honor to have you here on the line with us on the Plow. God bless you. Grace and peace this morning. Just by way of announcement, really quickly, and while we are here, please pray for me. This later this evening, I will be on a panel on Zoom or via Zoom rather, regarding the future of design work. As a designer, I have been summoned to articulate my sentiments regarding AI and its ability to replace uh, the creative mind. And so this is a critical conversation, especially in the body of Christ. This is a constant conversation, whether you're dealing with a client or whether you're dealing with those who are designers as well, or run agencies or creative services or things of that nature. So if you desire to be a part of this, that information is on my personal page. I will post it again later today. This is free of charge. So if you want to learn some more insight regarding AI or having a level of conversation in that manner from those in the industry and those who have a manner of expertise in that space, then I strongly encourage you to meet us there. I know there are a lot of people who are concerned in the body of Christ regarding AI. There are a lot of people who feel like it is an asset. Others feel like it is a liability. So this is a space to be able to answer some of those questions from those who might deal with it more frequently and more often than some of us others, where it may not be a part of our professional setting or our ministerial chain of operation currently at this moment in time. So, uh, uh, yes, my mother said you've been summoned to do what? To discuss this matter. Summoned. Praise the Lord. And so we appreciate each and every one of you who is on the line again this morning. And for those who have questions regarding AI, this is a great space to be in. It's not just myself, but it's also that of Frederick Allen, who's the creative director at Allen Studios, as well as Prince Solomon, who is over that of the Titan Marketing Agency. So, and then myself, of course. So, Brother Maurice, good morning. To that of Minister Brandy Kendrick, good morning to you as well. To Brother Leonard Mason, God bless you, and good morning as well. Again, it is an honor to have you all here as always, right? So yes, that is going to be transpiring between 3 to 4:30 Pacific Standard Time, or that of 6 to 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you're in Central, then you know how to make those necessary accommodations and adjustments. And we are still praying for those in the Midwest and the East Coast. Excuse me, the Midwest and the East Coast, as they continue to navigate. Some still trying to get power back, right? And I'm getting ready to share something as well. And with that in mind, there we go, perfect. Okay, yep. Let me pull that up on the screen really quickly. There we go. Because I was sent this yesterday. This is what some of the grocery stores are looking like right now. This was Whole Foods in the Midwest on yesterday. And this was the water and bread aisle. So you can see, water at the top, soda, that type of thing. Apparently, it looked the same way on the bread aisle as well. And just from a vantage point of observation, if you notice, there's a handful of water options. Most of the water options that were purchased were things that they could buy in bulk. But this is some of the conversation we've been talking about in our preparation space, in that of the Plow, right? And if you stay on the West Coast right now, your grocery stores do not look like this just yet. And so this is a point of gratitude. Um, the woman of God in this image clearly is looking at something else and trying to figure out what else he can grab or get a hold of, ascertain. But the principle is there are people who are panic buying. They were panic buying before the storm had come, anticipating that they may not be able to get these essentials. This image reminds me of 2020, when we were going into the grocery stores, looking for bread, water, and toilet tissue. Okay. These were some of the things that people were panic buying as well during that time. So there are people who are still without power um, in that area, in that region, and I'm sounding the alarm once again. I know it's Thankful Thursday, but you know how we are over here in these kingdom streets, that we want people to be aware of what's going on, so that you can prepare for what may potentially be down the street from you next, right? And again, this is not to scare you, but it is to prepare you, because we do not know necessarily when those prophecies will be fulfilled that have come. And so, even in that of Minnesota, the NBA even canceled a NBA game because of some of the volatility that's taking place, some of the weather conditions as well that are transpiring. And it's a lot happening in the Minnesota area. This is not necessarily Minnesota. I'm just mentioning that. And Lady Francesca is saying that most meat aisles look like this as well. And so this is the space and the time that we are in, where people are panicking right now. I just was at Costco yesterday, and Costco was still doing okay with their supply chain. I think my wife went by Target, and they still had water and things of that nature. But again, these are in spaces and places on the West Coast, right? So it's not the same measure of difficulty like it is in the Midwest and on the East Coast. Initially, it was about 14 states that were in emergency, had emergency notifications going out, declaring a state of emergency. I believe that has increased to about 22 states now. And so let's continue to be in prayer for them as well. Now, am I saying that you need to buy the entire store this week if you're in the West Coast? Maybe, maybe not, right? Um, but this is why it's important for the church to have a pulse on what's transpiring in the world, so we're not caught by surprise, right? So, uh, as my father often says, those who are well informed have no reason to be alarmed. He has said this to me, I don't know for how many years, and I live by that principle, especially with prophetic insight and revelation that the Lord continues to give us. Thank God for a relationship with Him, right? And so, again, I just want to share that really briefly and quickly on this Thankful Thursday. For those who do not know and you're new to the Plow, we do this Monday through Friday typically. If you desire to sow, you can do that via Zelle at tpgmediaco@gmail.com. And we do this beginning at 5:30 a.m. All right. And so I was planning to do a tour that dealt with preparedness, that wanted to highlight and show some of the things that are going on right now, based on several reports and updates that we've been seeing on the news. The news has suggested that there are people who will not have power for the next 5 days, up to 2 weeks. Okay, in certain parts of the country. So, uh, yes, my mother. Yes, absolutely. Good morning to Joshua Johnson. Love you, cousin. Um, and so, with that being said, what are some of the ways that what are some of the things that would help? Okay, what are some of the things that I have done to get in this posture of preparedness? So I could tell you right now. Where's that image at? I'll find it. Where is it at? I think it's over here. Um, Non-perishable food items, right? Yes, non-perishable food items. I do too, honestly. Are essential and critical. Okay, I will show you that I recently purchased on sales a website known as forpatriots.com. They had a sale going on for non-perishable items. This picture was taken on my elevator, and nope, I'm over here. I just want you to see that we're not just talking about it. We're operating in this level of awareness that the Lord has given us to do in this season. So let's do that one more time. And then we will get to our scriptures this morning. All right. But again, I just want to share this with you all. All right. Because again, our responsibility in the earth, in part, is to share with you the insight that the Lord has given. All right. Give me 1 second, family, while I find this really quickly. But yes, we are in the hour of preparation. For some, they are already in the thick of it. For some of us others, we have an opportunity to get prepared as best we can. And you want to make sure that you have battery powered lights. You also want to have things that can be easily charged via a power bank. I just bought a solar power bank as well. And again, these are things that we just consider to make sure that our household is prepared. Last night at the store, we bought some seeds as well, and we're in the process of ordering some of those units that you can grow vegetables and things like that indoors. So again, These are just measures and moments of preparedness that the Lord has allowed for us to uh, handle and already have going on in advance, so that you're not, as we say in our society, stuck like Chuck in the rut. Okay, you want to make sure that your churches are being informed of this insight before it's too late. Those who are connected to you as well, to be made aware of these different things. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. No, you're not pulling it up. Okay, well, I'll have to do it later. Um, Good morning to Lady Sheila. God bless you, woman of God. We honor God for you as well this morning. I want to go to the Word of God really briefly, and then we will continue to talk about why we are thankful this Thursday. Right? Okay, let's go here. All right, let's go to Psalm 47 this morning. We're going to go to Psalm 47 this morning. See, yep, my grow house will be delivered today, and that process starts today. Absolutely. Right. So, um, depending on what store you are in, they will have like those heirloom seeds and things of that nature. Um, but it is critical, right, to get in a posture and position of growth, personally, as well as making sure that you are acquiring. Listen, I mean, the truth is, we spend how we desire to spend. We buy what we desire to buy. The question is do you have any um, tradable assets? Okay. Do you have anything that you can liquidate easily? Um, and this is why, again, we're not on necessarily on Financial Freedom Friday. Good morning to that of Minister Alice. God bless you, woman of God. But this is one of the reasons I'm constantly having a conversation, even regarding trading in crypto, right? Not that I'm a trading expert necessarily, but I believe that some of the things that we will see coming up soon, these are two of the spaces that the church needs to really be emphasizing in the coming day, because you can still generate wealth and income from those resources. Now, are we totally reliant on those? No. But do we understand the power and the benefit of how it can multiply what you are called to manage? And the answer is yes. Okay. So if you don't know how to get in that space, if you feel like I'm too terrible with technology, I don't understand, I don't know, there are ways you can be trained. There are people who will look out for you. Matter of fact, I ran into a woman of God yesterday in the uh, Midwest area, who's a believer, who teaches trading. She teaches how to hedge. She teaches also how to stake in trading as well, and stock trading and trading futures and things of that nature. and her sessions were about $90 for a 2 hour session where she will walk you through how to do those things from beginning to end, whether you are a beginner or whether you are somebody who's been in it for a while. And she's making thousands upon thousands of dollars, sometimes in a given day, because she understands how to operate the markets and what to do, what to invest in, the signs to look for, things of that nature, right? And so I'm getting ready to take her class because that is something that the Lord is pushing me to do, not only in uh, the natural, but the spirit as well. He's released several dreams to me and shown me different things that I would potentially be doing in the future, even in that space. Minister Cernell, good morning to you, woman of God. God bless you. And so I'm 47. I want to start here. We won't land the plane here, but we will take off from here this morning. Just as an attribute of praise, but more importantly, to get our minds centered back on who God is, right? And what God is capable of in this hour and this time. So Psalm 47, verse 5, I'm going to read all the way to the conclusion of verse 9, and I'm reading out of the Amplified Classic Version. It says, God has ascended amid shout with the sound of a trumpet. Sing praises to God, sing praises to our King, sing praises. For God is the King of all the earth. Sing praises in a skillful psalm and with understanding. God reigns over the nation. God sits upon his holy throne. The princes and nobles of the peoples are gathered together, a united people for the God of Abraham and for the shields of the earth belong to God. He is highly exalted. Okay. Uh, um, Now I read this, and my verse of emphasis today will be verse 8 and 9. Okay. Um, God reigns over the nations. God sits upon his holy throne. In the hour that we live in, and with the volatility that we continue to experience, whether it's on the news, whether it is different things that are transpiring around the country, around the world. They just recently had a World Financial Summit, I believe, and at that experience, you had different levels of conversation, and some of this conversation ruffles feathers. Um, it presented America in a light that made us to appear to be the pinnacle of all societies everywhere. The truth of the matter is we are not operating in the best financial state currently. Africa is. They don't want us to know that. Africa, in places like Burkina Faso, and other African nations whose uh, GDP is about $50 billion. Matter of fact, in all of the 50 countries in Africa, the GDP in comparison to the United States of America uh, only would quantify as the equivalency of 3 states: Texas, Florida, and what's the other one? It's another one in the South. Okay, so let's say Texas, Florida, and I don't know. The other one was, it wasn't Louisiana, but it was somewhere near there. But I know Texas and Florida. Between Texas and Florida and one other state in the United States of America, they equal to all of the GDP of Africa. That was as of 2025. Okay. Um, but Africa is making major changes um, that would allow them not to, first of all, be dependent upon U.S. currency. They do not have to be as dependent upon the British pound. They are doing things. Matter of fact, Burkina Faso in particular, which is run by a gentleman by the name of Ibrahim Traore, is or Traore is and has completely annihilated its financial debt to the United States of America. Matter of fact, over the last 3 years of his reign or rule over the nation, I think they got out of debt with the U.S. for about $5 billion. Paid it all off, and then turned around and started localizing their manufacturing, giving people jobs within the country. They started manufacturing their own Coca-Cola bottles. They started doing their own cars. They started operating in their own and creating their own economy in that region. Built their own electric cars. Started building roadways. Started building their own mango plants. Just different things that would allow for them to now create opportunities for the country to thrive in that manner, type and kind. And this is happening in other parts of the world. China and its activity with silver right now is causing for there to be a major hiking up of the price of silver. So I think last week on Friday, I told you silver had just hit $100. Silver right now in less than a week is sitting at $120 per ounce. Okay. Gold was at about $5,000 as of Friday per ounce. I think when I checked yesterday, it was sitting at almost $5,500 per ounce, and I could double check just to confirm while we're sitting here. I'm telling you these things because while things are transpiring, yeah, $5,530.40 for gold, $120.68 right now for silver. Copper, okay. Copper is increasing as well. Copper was sitting at about $6 an ounce. But the reason copper matters is because copper and silver are the two to pay attention to. Okay. The reason being is because with these AI data centers, these are two things that will be required in order for those infrastructures to thrive and to flourish in the future. Okay. So the truth of the matter is while that's going on, we also have projections that suggest that hundreds of companies are getting ready to do layoffs, and some people are finding out that they're getting laid off via social media. Okay, so you have there is coming a day where there will be an increase in the wealth disparity. There will be an increase in volatility in the streets. There will be civil war. At the same time, there will be international war. Okay, there will be increase in volatility, like we already showed you at the grocery stores. People will be without power. People will not have the income streams they used to have. People will be in panic. People will be stressed out. They will be overwhelmed. They will be looking for get rich quick schemes like everybody was in 2020. There will be different things that will transpire in the earth that will be alarming for many. The reality is Psalm 91 suggests, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide up under the shadow of the Almighty." Okay. When you keep going down in the verses, in verse 13, it says that it shall not come nigh my dwelling. In essence, the things that the world will experience will not reach our doors who dwell with him. Well, what does that mean in real time? That does not mean that is a pass for us to do nothing. What it means is, matter of fact, that's in verse 11. For he will give his angels charge over you in a company and defend and preserve you in all your ways. Okay. The reality is God is requiring of us to prepare. Why? Because he's sitting on a throne that allows him to see everything at the same time. Now, please understand, none of this is catching God by surprise. Okay, so the way we do church, the way we do ministry, the way we operate, the way we have conversation, the way we talk, the way we move, the way we live, the way we have our being is a throne perspective. Okay. I love it. Right. Uh, um, uh, we have a throne perspective. The throne is what is giving us measures of intelligence. Where God sits on his seat and how he commands the downloads, the divine insight, the blessings of the Lord. That all comes from us being connected to him as he is on his throne. You do know that God has not had to get up for thousands of years. Him on his throne, right, has guided us through the Great Depression, has guided us through slavery, has guided us through Kennedy's, the Bushes, the Clintons, the right, you name it, we've experienced it with the monarchies and kings, with the dictatorships that took place early on, with the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, the whatever secret society you saying runs the world. God has been on his throne through it all. Okay. And when Cain killed Abel, God was on his throne, right? So I'm saying this to you because sometimes we get caught up in the weeds of the thing. But when you step back for a second, you realize, wait a second, God is still sitting on his throne. That's why we read Psalm 47 today, because we need the people of God to recognize he is not caught by surprise right now. None of the things that are transpiring um, is making God worried, because he already has given us remedy. And you don't worry when you know everything is going to be all right. Okay. For some of us, the reason we're dealing with the measures of anxiety and some of the emotional things that we are experiencing in this hour and this time, even if you have family in the Midwest and East Coast, things of that nature, it's concerning. You're looking at strange weather patterns. You're looking at snow that will not go away. They've been trying to melt snow as of recent, and people are starting to figure out that something is off, something is wrong, something is weird. But I could tell you personally, about 3 years ago, the Lord started dealing with me with manufactured weather patterns. I had never heard the terminology a day in my life. I think I was still driving Uber at the time, transitioning out of my job at the time, and the Lord was dealing with me about manufactured weather patterns. He had me studying how this technology would start taking over in society. He started talking to me and dealing with me about strange things that are happening that are unnatural, demonic technologies to create storms, right? To create fog filled with chemicals that will cause people to have heart attacks and ailments and things of that nature. Snow falling that would call for there to be freezing beyond normal temperatures, that will cause pipes to burst, that will cause things to transpire in society. These are things that the Lord has been dealing with us with for over the last 3 to 4 years now. And so, how do you prepare for this, right? How do you have this conversation with other people without sounding like you got a tinfoil hat on every time you walk out of your door? How do you preach on this, right? When people only want to hear about the blessings of the Lord and rich and add no sorrow. How do you manage this in a conversation with your children, right? And sometimes the prophetic will have you sounding and looking like you are crazy. You are not crazy. You are prepared, right? The Lord is dealing with you with things, and it's up to you to listen. Sometimes people don't want to say stuff because they don't want to look a certain way and don't want to sound a certain way and don't want to live a certain way. I remember when I would give levels of insight regarding what the Lord was dealing with me with, and showing me and certain things. And the biggest deal, even when it comes to preparedness, is storage. So people, of course, you don't want to walk in somebody's house and it look like they hoarding water bottles and all this other stuff. But my thing was I would rather you look crazy and be ready, okay, than you not being prepared because you want to look normal to other people, right? Normal is overrated. I'm just being honest. Okay. Some people are just wanting to do these things for the aesthetics. The others of us could care less about the aesthetics, and we want to make sure that everybody is ready. Okay, so it took my wife a while to get on board. Not because she was, being rebellious or negligent or anything of that nature. She was just sitting there like, well, how will we do this? What would we do, and which way will we go? Well, if you're telling me this, I mean, this is scaring me. I don't really want to know as much. Then all of a sudden, it starts on her timeline. It keeps coming up in conversation at her job. It keeps coming up in conversation in certain circles, and she's like, "This sounds like my husband. This sounds like what he's been telling me for a minute now, right?" It's no slight to anybody. It's no knock to her. It's no, what it is God is still sitting on His throne, and He wants His children to be prepared, who dwell with Him and who continue with Him. It says He reveals His secrets to the prophets, right? And so there are certain things that you will have to operate in, even as a prophet, where it's not always about talking; it's more about building. Now, I know prophets and building is not always a conversation, but prophets do build. And typically, what they're working on is stuff ahead of the curve, so that they be prepared by the time it's normalized, right? So this is why, if you keep looking, the majority of people on my timeline, who are operating in AI and technological advancements and things of that nature, are prophets. Um, they are not just talking about Chat GPT, even though that one is something that AI is heavily immersed in. But they're talking about building their own infrastructures, their own apps, their own um, universities, just all kinds of things, that the Lord is allowing for people to have access to. Typically, those initially engaging, as far as I've seen, in a regular and on the norm, are prophetic people. Okay, intercessors, apostles. Matter of fact, pastors. There was a recent thing that went out that stated that pastors and their use of AI throughout the week to help them manage their schedules, have gone from 41% to about 60. No, from 41, yeah, from 41% to 61%, over the last 90 days, right? So I'm saying all of this to you this morning because these are things that you want to know. Why? Because God is still sitting on His throne. He wants His people to be prepared for what's coming, but He also wants us to know how to handle this when the enemy will try to use these things against us. Because you do know that these things are tools. They are to be used. They do not have good or bad in them inherently. These are created assets that will help, to push people into advancement, all over the world. But there will always be bad apples in the bunch. People who are programming AI, that own AI, in certain aspects and degrees, that will use this for wrongdoing. They will use these things for hacking. They will use these things, for leveraging, people in a negative aspect. They will use these things, to get over on others. We're not the only ones on the planet who have access to these measures of technology. Matter of fact, to take the conversation even further, I think there's a company called IQ, if I'm not mistaken, and they are in the process of trying to create designer babies. Okay, AI in the health space will terrify many, because of the levels of dependency that will be taking place in the future on AI. People will not even be trying; they will try to avoid going to the doctor because they're going to get their diagnosis from a computer program, and they're depending on accuracy from something that was created by humanity. And we all know that technology and humanity does not always produce accuracy. Okay. So, right. And so these are things that we must be aware of. Okay. God is still sitting on the throne, but the government just passed a bill. Okay. That suggests that they will be able to shut your car off at a moment's notice if it has a computer in it. If you have a computer operating your vehicle, the government at will can shut your vehicle down based on their subset of requirements. And we all know what happens in black and white does not always translate to the street. Okay, it makes it through the House of Representatives on Capitol Hill in black and white, and people parade and cheer and that type of thing. But you always have people who will use it and take advantage of it and do things that they do not have legal license to do so. And it causes levels of devastation in society. But what does that mean for you? How would that conversation of preparation exist? It would exist by you buying some old school. Okay. I know we want the latest and the greatest, the hottest and the trendiest thing. But the reality is you might need something that doesn't have that type of engineering engaged or involved. Okay. So therefore they won't be able to shut your car off at a moment's notice. Now they're saying it's going to be used for protective measures, like if something or if someone is being seen or being recognized as drunk driving, they're saying they want to be able to shut their vehicle off to protect those who are on the road. We can understand that type of example, but the reality is, like I told you the other day, oftentimes when deception is initially engaged, they usually will not they usually will not show the fine print. Okay. And I know what you're saying. Well, what does all this have to do with God being on the throne? Because God is the one who will ultimately allow for his children to be made aware of what to do next right now. You got people on this line. One half of the country is saying the grocery stores don't have, on the meat aisles are empty, on the water aisles are empty, on the bread aisles are empty. And you got others of us looking at them on the news, eating potato chips on our couch in our sweatpants, having a conversation about what other people are going through. Our lights are still working. Power is still working. Our streets are not flooded. There's no natural disaster that has come to this region as of yet. Thank the Lord. There are things that are being prevented from transpiring on this side of the world, and we're still not getting ready. We're still not paying attention. You got people who are talking about the fact that somebody, right, wore a dress to a gala more than we are prepared for what's coming. Why do I need to keep re-emphasizing God is sitting on his throne? Because the throne is the place of authority. The throne is the place of power. The throne is the place of vision. The throne is the place of insight. The throne is the seat because God is at rest, because what he needed to do for us has already been done. If you don't realize that a seat in the kingdom identifies completion, then you don't understand why God sitting up on his holy throne is important to talk about. But God would not rest knowing that there was something he could do to save his children, and he did not. God has been seated since day 6, but he had a son who became flesh, dwelt among us, performed miracles, built a bridge, and restored order so that we could have a relationship with God for ourselves again. And then when he was done, he was seated. So now who's in operation of the world system? It's that of the Holy Spirit. In Spanish, they would say Espiritu Santo, right? The reality is the Holy Spirit that we understand to give us goosebumps and to direct our thoughts, and the one that can help us to stop cussing and stop fussing and stop fighting and stop complaining, right? And stop doing all these things is the same one that can give you measures of divine intelligence to know that it's okay to do something you've never done before. Okay. To give you the awareness that is necessary, um, so that you will be able to manage what's going on in society. So, why does this matter on Thankful Thursday? We need to be thankful that God is still sitting on the throne. That even with all the things that are going on, it has not deterred us and taken us away from what He has called for us to do. Now, some of us have plans of advancement right now. Okay. The Lord is dealing with us about advancement. The Lord is dealing with us about um, levels of intelligence that suggests we need to be launching in this hour. We need to be doing something significant. We need to be changing. We need to be connecting. We need to be building. We need to be developing. And the reality is it's true. The thing is, it's going to be very scary because it's almost going to seem as if some of us are not aware or oblivious to what's going on. What you don't realize on the other side of that conversation is God is calling for many of us to create economy. And when you're called to create economy, you cannot look at the current reality as your litmus for how to handle what God is calling for you to create. You have to create because there is something that's needed on the other side that does not yet exist. That's throne talk. Why? Because it says in verse 8 of Psalm 47, God reigns over the nations. What he's asking of you is going to help him to reign over the nations. When you are really his, after you suffered a while, you will know to reign with him. You will have the opportunity to reign with him also. That reigning with him comes from your obedience to do something ridiculous when devastation is taking place. You don't realize God is calling for you to be the solution. You don't realize that God is requiring of you to step up in certain ways, to do things that you might be absolutely uncomfortable with doing. You have never done these things in these ways before. You're getting ready to have to charge in certain ways that you never thought that you would have to operate in and to do certain things. God is requiring this of us because he knows it is a need and a necessity. God will use what you're building to reign in the earth because of your obedience. And mind you, he gave you the blueprint. So it's not like you it's not like he's stealing from you. He gave you breath in your body and the use and activities of your limbs. Even if your limbs are limited, come on, talk to me. Then you still have access to some measure of reality because you're not dead yet. And because he is on the throne, he knows what's coming. So he's asking you to do this. I feel the Holy Ghost now. I not that I didn't before, but I'm just saying in this moment specifically, it's important that we get beyond what the world's circumstances are and we get to God. What do you see on your throne? From a throne perspective, what do you see? Why do you keep pushing me to do these things, knowing what's coming? Some of us, God has been dealing with us for years about this stuff. And we're finally getting to the point to where we're able to accomplish it. It doesn't mean that your timing was off. It means God was developing the fortitude in you to tell you to go through with what I said. And I don't need you to be afraid that it's going to fail. I need you to understand that your faith is going to be louder than the failure that you're perceiving. While some will critique, and often the people who will critique is those who are in the church, They will claim that you're insensitive, you don't care, you're not prioritizing people's pockets, dot, 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 dot. These same people months later will be asking you, are you hiring? Do you have any opportunities? And are you available to sit down with me to go over strategy so that I can execute what I need to execute? You will go from building and developing to coaching and consulting because you obeyed God's spirit. I'm telling you what I know. What are you researching right now? And God is requiring of you to do something more than you've ever done before. See, AI is not something for the lazy. AI will cause for there to be great acceleration of wealth. But what is the wealth going to go into? Because if you think you're about to put $1 million in your personal account, you're going to have IRS. The IRS is going to take 30 to 40 to 50% of that money up front. So what you going to do? If you don't know how to put that in the right bucket, if you don't know how to put that in the right tax shelter, if you don't know how to put that in the right entity, if you don't have any connections with an accountant and a lawyer and a this and a that, HR specialist and a tax liability officer and all those things, then you're going to be spending money and you're going to be having problems. And trust me, the government does not care that you didn't know. You got preachers in trouble right now because of some of the same things that I just said. Great morning, JoJo. We love you. Minister Baker said, Apostle. Leonard Mason, yes, sir. Mama, yes, ma'am. Right. The truth is God is still sitting on his throne. He reigns over the nations, and he's asking for you to partner with him so that he can reign. And you won't do it because you don't realize that what he's instructing for you to do is going to take over territory that he's always desired for the church to manage, own, and run. Now, let's go to verse 9 real quick because I want you to understand something. God is also building the gatherers. You think that you're building a company, God is calling for you to build a gathering. You think you're building a product or a service, God is calling for you to build a gathering. Good morning, Minister Bedenas. God bless you. We love you. God is calling for you to build a gathering. Do you know that the shields of the earth belong to God? Now, the Amplified Classic is about to make me run this morning because this is the picturesque language that this frames this in gets me. Because what it suggests is when you gather people together, it's easier to develop a shield for the united. You didn't hear what I just said. One of my favorite movies is the movie 300. And there's a sequence in 300, the first one, because there was a couple of different ones. There's a scene in 300 where all of the men in a given vicinity, they all put their shields over their heads. And the enemy is shooting arrows at them. And because they all are gathered and they have their shields facing the appropriate angles, they are able to move through arrows being shot at them and advance their position because they are shielded while moving. I almost want to find this image just to put it on the screen so you can understand what I'm saying. That's probably what I'm getting ready to do. Okay, so matter of fact, I could do it on here. Let me do it on here real quick. Okay, let me see if I can find this scene really quickly. Give me 1 second. I need to show you this imagery because some of us don't realize what God is actually doing. God is causing for there to be a shaking so that there will be a gathering so that there can be a shielding. A shaking, a gathering, and a shielding is what is taking place. Okay. And I'm looking through the scenes. Give me 1 second. Perfect. Here it is. Okay. Let me make that bigger. Okay. Let's put this on the screen. Yep. In the movie Troy. Yes, sir. Okay. Lady Shataya, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, wow. See, and I wasn't on Shakar this morning. Okay. So the Lord has us in the same vein. Let me show you something real quick. Okay. If you look at this image on the screen, you should be able to see that. Okay. I'm going to make that totally big so you can see it. Perfect. Okay. If you look at this image on the screen, they are walking. All right. It's frame. Yeah. They are walking. People are fighting. Right. They just knocked some of them off the edge of the cliff. Okay. They're walking. They're advancing. If you look in the background here, this is where the arrows are. All right. Make that big enough. Oh, hold on. Okay, there we go. Okay, so as they keep walking, the arrows are coming right here. Hopefully, you can see my mouse scrolling. You see the same image again. Now, this is the arrows in the sky, completely covering the sky at this point. Still covering the sky. And look at them. This is the posture of God's people. Now, I'm going to put this comment on the screen because I want you to see why the Lord has you in this position. Why is the acceleration of AI going to be critical for God's people? It's because it's going to put you in a position called covered. Absolutely. Come on, Shatea. She already where I'm going. Okay. To be covered by God sits in Psalm 47. It sits in the last verse. The last verse suggests in Psalm 47, for those who just got here, we're in verse 9. The princes and nobles of the peoples are gathered together, a united people for the God of Abraham. For the shields of the earth belong to God. He is highly exalted. Why does this matter? Because if you don't have a shield, you cannot be covered. He's saying they do the same thing in the movie Troy. Absolutely. But I put this comment here because I want you to understand the push for entrepreneurship is not always just for you to build a business. It may for you to be advised on how to help somebody else manage what God is calling for them to do. That's called partnership. Advisement is a responsibility in partnership. Sometimes if you advise well enough, you don't even have to have the capital to be a part of something, and you could still receive a dividend from it. You could still get a kickback from it. You could still be a part of the company without having to do the heavy lifting. So what does this comment say? AI, LLCs, legal teams, and investment advisors now building and bringing the community together. Absolutely. Right? Do you know the difference between an LLC, a sole proprietorship, a limited partnership, a small or S corp, a C corp, right, or a publicly traded offering? Do you know the difference? And again, it's not Financial Freedom Friday. I need you to understand why this is significant, though, with God being on the throne. Okay. Are you even associated with affiliate marketing? Do you know what that is? Do you know how that works? Have you mastered it? Do you know how AI will impact affiliate marketing? Do you know how AI will impact business? Do you know how AI will impact underwriting? Okay. I need you to see the position the church is in right now. I need you to understand what a trust is and which one to get involved in, which nonprofit to be involved in, because there are more than just 501c3s. Matter of fact, there are close to 27 different operating nonprofit methods that you can have access to for different purposes and different reasons. Yep. AI in the grant writing space. What we did not have access to before, we would have access to now. But you're going to have a limited time to execute. I need you to put in the chat, don't leave your shield. Don't leave your shield. If you leave your shield, you will not have covering in this next hour. Now, the enemy just knew he was killing them, only to realize and recognize that they were protected. Do you see all the arrows in the ground? That is missing them because they are covered. They have arrows in the shield, but it's not getting past the shield. Which means the enemy is getting ready to be wasting resources trying to get rid of God's people because he does not know that we are shielded. Why are we shielded? Because God is sitting on his throne. And listen, this is dealing with the people being united with the God of Abraham. Why does that matter to you? Because that's how you're covered. If you remember when he was talking to Moses, I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. What was he saying? I'm the God who shielded you in generations prior to you even existing. I knew you were coming. I knew before your mama ever met your daddy that you were going to be here. And I had a responsibility for you already. Psalm 47, yes. I'm in the Amplified Classic version. Just it may not say that same verbiage in your version, depending on what you're reading, but in the Amplified Classic, that's what it says. Okay. Uh uh and if you've been with me any length of time, you know why we rock with the Amplified Classic for this season specifically. Um, but yes, okay. Verse 9, Psalm 47, verse 9. All right. That's where we are this morning. And 8 and 9 is really our emphasis. I just want you to be thankful for God shielding you, for God protecting you, for God allowing for his throne to make sure that you are good. Yes, sir. You serve the God that has been with you throughout the generations. This is the God of your forefathers. This is the God of your ancestors. This is the God who has guided you through ancient history past. Some of us don't even know our actual genealogy. We're still here. Listen, some of us have never met our father nor our mother. We're still here. Woo, Lord. If they played a movie back to share your story with you 3 generations before you were born, you will probably be amazed at what God brought you to in this hour of your life. Some of us know the history and we still scratching our head as to how we are here. I'm telling you, you do not have to doubt yourself. I'm telling you that you can follow God's instructions. You can partner with somebody else. Do not be afraid. Some of us was raised by aunts and uncles and grandmothers and cousins and didn't even know. By the time we found out, we was full grown. Had no idea. Devastated, but at the end of the day, grateful because while they may not have told you the full truth at the time, they may have never told you the truth and you found out on your own. You're still here by his grace. Foster care system, adoption issues. I mean, just all of it, right? Some of us have been through some of the craziest things at 10 and 12 that people could never even describe. We are still here by his grace. Trauma, drama, money, funny, change, strange, situations, problems, circumstances. You've been covered this whole time and didn't even know. You didn't know. God is protecting his children. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's easy right now. I'm not saying that everybody got it all together right now. Some of us are living testimonies. If we tried to explain to you how we made it through, we wouldn't be able to. My answer is God has covered me. It's easier to be a shield with a people who are united and not scattered. And God is gathering, he's trying to use the different things that he's calling us to do to gather the people. Please understand that God is calling for you to gather. God is calling for you to reign. God is calling for you to be covered. The question I have before we sign out this morning on Thankful Thursday is how many people will fit under your covering? Some of us don't realize we are called to cover many, which is why you cannot build small. You cannot play it small because there are other people that you are called to cover that you have never calculated. You don't even realize that your obedience is getting ready to cover many. You're thinking you're building something for your four and no more, and God is trying to put 400,000 under your covering, and you're not prepared. I know the number sounds crazy because you looking and thinking to yourself, "Well, I'm only building this, you know, I'm building this for me." No, he let you start with thinking you were building it for you. He's getting ready to breathe on and expand what you're doing. If you know me, you know I'm in many spaces and many places and doing different things, constantly researching, constantly studying, constantly understanding. Even in the church tech space right now, you have two top companies, Glue and Tithely, right? Tithely is a software that allows for you to be able to give and these type of things. You know, people can sow into what you do via Tithely. Okay, Glue is a company that is at the forefront of AI in the church tech space, trying to make text messaging and emails and things like that much easier for people to navigate in and operate and make ministry more effective for those who don't have the staffing and they're turning to AI to increase productivity ministerially. Okay. Both of these companies now own some of the major players in the faith, other companies in the faith, like Barna and Tithely just bought a company called Breeze, which was a church management system. A lot of these companies are merging. They're being acquired by companies. And now, guess what? Those other companies that have been acquired now fall up under their umbrella now. What is God dealing with you with regarding expansion? He has you dreaming about expansion, and you keep looking at your account like I don't. My account doesn't spell out expansion. He's not looking at your account. He's looking at what you're called to cover. The question is are you going to put yourself in a position to build the gathering place? The gathering place doesn't necessarily equate to church. It could be business. It could be a community garden. It could be you teaching other people how to write a book. It could be you helping other people get their credit restored. It could be you teaching people how to cook. It could be you creating a product or a service. It could be you starting an online platform called the Plow. You do know I'm not the only person that could teach, that could preach, that could talk, that could press a button to share my screen so you could see movie images to show you a shield. It more people know how to do this than I do. Some of you are called to do something similar to what I'm doing right now, and you are terrified, and the Lord is requiring it of you. Will you do it? I don't know how many people we are called to cover. I just know I'm called to cover. And I'm not the one who's expanding my tent pegs. I'm just obeying as God allows for me to obey. It's January 2026, right? December of 2022. He said, I want you to do this on December the 1st. We did December the 1st. I did not know. I still don't know how many people we've impacted since we started. When I tell you the names in the comment section have changed so many times, I can't even count. When I look up analytics at times, it's telling me that people in the Philippines, in Africa, in the United Kingdom are watching the Plow outside of the United States of America. I've never met these people. Oh, look at what up, Victor? Love you, man. That's BMZ family right there. You don't know who you're going to be impacted by. You don't know how God is going to move on your behalf. You just you serve and you cover. You tell God yes. Sometimes you figuring it out on the fly. Oh, that's Sister Gail. Oh, Sister Gail, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. That's my family, right? Um, but yeah, you don't know how your life will be impacted by what's going on. The truth of the matter is your obedience is going to help others more than you know. So what do we read today? We read Psalm 47, verse 5 to verse 9. And our verse of emphasis was verse 8 and 9, dealing with the fact that God was still seated on the throne. God reigns over the nations. God is gathering his people who serve the God of Abraham. He's also going to allow for us to experience his shield all over the earth. And does that mean we will not feel the impacts of war, or we won't feel the impacts of, like I showed you that image before where there are certain people in our country right now, this is what their shelves are looking like. Does this mean when you go to your local grocery store that you won't see some of these same things? We're not saying that. What we're saying is God is putting us in a position to prepare. Okay. He's making sure that we're ready. I'm going to try to upload this image one more time because I want you to see this really quickly. But I'm just stating this because I want to make sure that God's people are not caught by surprise, right? Okay. That should come up now, prayerfully. Okay, no, it won't let me upload today. I had to convert it later. Um, I again, what did Lady Sheila say? So yesterday I was thinking on the covering of God and being in His hand, and the word glove came to mind, and how tight fitting a glove can be, and the different uses of the glove. And I'm still dwelling on this word. I love it, right? And Lady Sheila, you can confirm with the saints. I had no idea that this is that this is what the Lord was dealing with you with, right? And then it was confirmed again this morning by Elder David McKinney that this was also talked about on Shakar, right? Which is another platform that comes on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4:30 in the morning, an hour before we get on the plow, right? Um, that is by Pastor Leroy T. Carr Jr. out of that of Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay, he goes live early in the morning as well. Um, okay, so the reality is we're up early in the morning talking about God, talking about Him being our covering, talking about Him being our shield, talking about God helping us to get to a place where we no longer can say we don't know how, we don't have access to. The veil of access is ever expanding. The question is, will you know how to use the tools before they're turned against you? The truth is will you own and create your own tools that can be used for God's advancement? See, this is the part they don't want to talk to us about regarding AI, even, right? Because the question is ownership. It's not you being a user, it's about you owning. It's not about you being an AI consumer, it's about you owning it. If you want to be in any space, figure out, how do you own it? How do I own the space? So while you may start off on a given platform, that doesn't mean that you don't build something in the background that you can stand on your own to, that you can offer to others, that you can be a benefit and a benefactor to those. Because trust me, every platform that's being designed desires to have new users. That's why you keep seeing new ones pop up left and right. Okay. Minister Baker is saying some of the stores look like that here due to the weather. Many churches, stores, schools, and jobs shut down due to the weather, and delivery trucks are unable to deliver to stores. Okay. Now, what is this a conversation regarding? This is something we're going to talk about tomorrow about God's sustainability plan. That's what we're talking about tomorrow on Financial Freedom Friday. God's sustainability plan. The truth is our supply chain is on the brink of breaking. When a supply chain breaks, what happens is you enter into hyper localization. What does hyper localization mean? It means that everything that you would normally get from other parts of the world, you start only being able to access it locally. I've been telling you all this for probably 2 years. Privatization and partnership are going to be two of your best friends in the coming day. What does that mean? That means what was in the public sector becomes private. And how will you thrive in society and business? It will be through partnerships, which means you may start it on your own. Somebody else will come alongside you and amplify your efforts. Somebody will see the potential in what you are creating and want to join up with you. And I'm not talking about just, you know, Johnny from the corner store. I'm talking about somebody who is reputable, who has some rank, some measure of expertise, some measures of influence, some measures of commodity access, networking, things of that nature. Okay. You do not know how God will use you in the future. But what you are addressing, ma'am, is a supply chain issue. If the weather is bad, if the power is off, if the conditions are not favorable or suitable, how would you get access to food? How would you get access to these things? And the reality is, you would have to figure out how to find that locally, because you may not be able to go on Amazon and order it necessarily, because they may not be able to get it to you. Okay. So you're talking about hyper localization. Now, what does that mean in real time for some of us? That means if you have the autonomy to grow some vegetables in your living room, right? Put them on your balcony. Okay. I don't buy toilet paper from the grocery store anymore. I order mine from online. I have boxes sitting in my house right now of toilet paper. Sometimes I buy it in bulk, so I don't have to worry about it. Meat you can get at a local farm. You don't necessarily have to go to a grocery store. If you don't have connections with those at a local farm, I strongly advise that you do so quickly. Crazy part is you can buy meat in bulk. If you have a deep freezer, it's going to be your best friend in that type of situation. Or if you have an additional refrigerator, that's going to be your best friend in that type of situation. If you want to split the meat up amongst your family members, you can go in, you can find a local farm that will allow for you to purchase a quarter of a cow, an entire cow, all that type of stuff. You can have meat for 6 to 12 months and not even blink. And you don't have to touch a grocery store. This is why we put our community in place, because there's going to come a point in time where we may not be able to communicate here. So do we have anywhere else that people are connected to us outside of this space? Yes, ma'am. Generators and solar panels. Absolutely. That's the next on the list. There are companies that would allow for you to make payments on this stuff and have it in your residence. Some of them are offering payments as little as $100 a month. There are no excuses now. We got Klarna, Afterpay, and everything else. We spend the money on shoes and a new do and spend it on something that's going to matter when you don't have the things that you would need. I'm going to give you 3 terms that you should have in your arsenal. Okay. It's hydroponic towers. No, yes, hydroponic towers. Okay. Aquaponics. So hydroponics, aquaponics, right? What's that for? That's for you to grow your own um, um, vegetables, fruits. Okay. You will be able to have your own fish. In essence, it's a sustainable ecosystem that you will be able to have and to house. And one thing I encourage is indoor growing. Why do I encourage that? In case of a nuclear catastrophe and you have a nuclear fallout where the chemicals are taking over a given territory and it's bad to breathe the air outside and things of that nature, you got to wear a mask to get in your car, those type of things. You don't want to get so accustomed to growing outdoors that you don't make space indoors in case those are issues. As somebody in church, I'm not looking to buy a church. You know what I'm looking to acquire? Warehouses. I want to acquire commercial spaces. Don't get me wrong. I would, we would love to have a church building, sure. But what I would prefer to prioritize is not just the 4 walls. I would prefer to prioritize the community personally. Because when church is done, the homeless are going to be hungry. They're going to be kids who are going to be in need of sustainability. They're going to be the elderly who can't get to the grocery store. They're going to be those who wish they knew a system to be able to help those right in need. There are too many people in the world who are getting ready to be in major need. And as a pastor, as an apostle, all I'm worried about is another building to. No. You know what I've been looking up how to acquire? Hotels. How to buy commercial property so that the size of a Costco, so that we could build sustainability plans for cities. That's what I'm. That's where I'm at. How do you acquire a franchise that already has and houses the things that would be necessary for people to be able to eat? Buy something that could you can grow a community garden on, right? And I'm not saying that you can't do this at a church facility. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is what is the intention behind these decisions? Buy a strip mall because the same amount of money you would spend for a church building, somewhere up to $10 million that you would acquire something you can't even park in, right? Now, does that mean I wouldn't manage the asset if the keys were handed to me? Absolutely, no doubt. But what I'm getting at is that the priority, and the answer is no. The priority is the people, not the place. And I believe the heart of God is the sentiment of how will the people be taken care of? We want the place to be beautiful, yes. But if the people are taken care of, they'll build the place, not the place having to be prioritized so that the people will enjoy it. To be honest, if you go on loopnet.com right now, okay, just being honest, I look at this every day. There are more churches going up for sale right now because people cannot afford the rents there because they are not properly using the facilities to maximize the communities that they are called to serve in. Churches on Sunday and on a Wednesday night, maybe. Okay, great. What are you doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday during the day, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday? Outside of a food giveaway and um, somebody using the fellowship hall for a birthday party. Okay, what else are we doing? What are the ways of innovation that the Lord has downloaded to us to make sure we're good? Now, hear me. I'm not on nobody's high horse, but I know for a fact in the Bay Area, 80% of the churches are renting. Others are paying the mortgage, but will they be able to afford it when times get bad and tithes and offerings get scarce? What's the sustainability plan? This is what we're talking about tomorrow. What's God's sustainability plan for us? Would it be better for the church to buy a hotel for the same amount of money? You're already trying to get a church built, doing a church building fund. You're already going to need a given space. So why not marry the two? I know what you're saying. I don't know how to run that. I don't know how to do that. You don't know how to run a church neither. You you buying a building for it. You renting out a hotel. You might as well buy the hotel. What I'm saying is, when do we graduate beyond church building funds and we actually do business to the point to where we have a publicly traded offering where we could generate capital as a C corp, put a fund together, acquire an asset, build the asset to therefore further the community. I know it's regulations. I know it's red tape. I know it's liabilities. I get it. I understand. I'm not crazy. I get it. But what else can we do besides buying a building for people to sit in and look at us talk? What else are we? Pastor John Hanna recently in Chicago bought a liquor store the other day. Going to turn it into a community grocery store. Take the alcohol out, put health back into the community, take care of the people who live there. And I believe that's within steps of his church. Like it might be 3 blocks away from the church or something like that. This is what I'm talking about. Am I mad at somebody buying a church building? No, no. Pastor Chris Foster, they just got in their facility in Antioch. Pastor Darnell Hammock just got into their facility in Oakland. I believe the next person who's going to get theirs is Pastor Shamar Lewis in Vallejo. That's me personally. You're about to go into a facility. I've been praying for that for a couple of years now. Personally, that ain't even public knowledge. I just this is the things we do. But I'm praying for Fresh Start Church in Vallejo. I'm praying for KWCI. Right? It's no. But hear me. Hear me good. When the keys come over here, you won't have to guess what we're doing. You're gonna know. The studio, the gardening spaces, the different, yeah, all of it. Take prioritizing the community, absolutely. Making sure that you not only eat, but you know how to fish for yourself, that you know how to take care of your legacy, that you know how to do estate planning, that you understand how to put a will and testament in place, a living will, and doing all of that. Making sure your things are set up and in working order. I got a lot to say today, but I'm gonna refer my comments remaining to tomorrow. But I really and truly want us to be thinking on another level now. My wife recently got a car. Okay. Now I'm telling you where I am. I'm not. I'm just telling you where I am. My wife recently got a car, new car. My prayer to God the day she got the car was, Lord, help me figure out how to pay this car off in a year. I need your help. I want to do this for her. Now I know interest. I get it. They gonna hike up the interest the first year. They do the same thing with mortgages. Okay, the same type of predatory lending that they're doing with these mortgages, they're doing for these vehicles. That's why you got to read the fine print. That's why you got to rebuild your credit. Right? Having Navy Federal is a blessing. Amen. Okay, so I'm just just for those who need to know. Okay, credit unions will be your best friend if you know how to manage them correctly. And I get it. Some of us is on hard times, so we're figuring it out. Right. But I'm just telling you, that was my prayer. My other prayer is that all of my debts by the end of 2026 will be completely at zero. What else is my prayer? That businesses will grow and thrive in 2026. That investments would increase. Do you know that some of us have been hoodwinked and swindled, and God is going to repay us in 2026? Do you know this? Do you know that the Lord is going to bless you 7 times over what they were owed or what you were owed from a bad deal? Because they had bad intentions when they asked you to come in, and now God is about to repay. I had a deal on the table that was going to net me $20,000 a month for 199 years. And the person who asked me to be a part of it had bad intentions before they ever asked me to be a part of it. So guess what? If the Lord is going to give it back to me 7 times over, that means that that's going to be $140,000 a month for 199 years. Did you hear what I just said? Just because it went bad before does not mean God is not going to repay. So guess what my expectation is? Is that some deal is going to come that's going to allow for me to reap the benefits of $140,000 for 99 years. Why? Because that was the deal 7 times more than what I was in for it initially. Yep. Does that mean everything you're going to do will immediately see the results? Maybe not. But maybe this time it will. You don't know. You have to stop quitting on yourself to find out if something works. You got to try again. You got to go for it again. You have to do it again. And I promise you, you will see God's hand in major operation in your life. So finally, I just want to submit to you this image. This is the image of our existence. This is God's shield for us. Truth is we cannot leave it. Guess what your shield will be in 2026? It's what it was in the Bible in the New Testament. Faith. The whole armor of God. Put on the whole armor of God. This is God's sustainability plan, the whole armor. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I love y'all. If you desire to sow, you can do so at TPG Media Co. at gmail.com, TPGMediaco at gmail.com. We appreciate every dollar, dime, and cent that is put into the work of the ministry so that we can help others to build. Our responsibility on the Plow is to build a prophetically prepared people. All right. We do have an announcement later today regarding our open house. You will see something go up on my page referring to that of an open house. That open house will happen at 234 East Gitz Road, Suite 300 on February the 5th. It is pertaining to something that is getting ready to launch known as Turning Point University. Okay. For the Lifelong Learning Institute that the Lord has called for us to design and build. For those who want to enhance in biblical literacy, financial literacy, and leadership literacy, this is the place for you. So you will see a graphic go up with a registration link for that. That is really just to confirm your attendance. At the open house, we will lay out the full blueprint and the plan. You will get to know me a little bit better. We'll reveal who will be a part of our staff initially. And then we will continue to execute from there. So I'm honored, grateful, and excited. This has been a long time coming. I'm absolutely nervous. But again, I'm not sitting here talking. This is 2026 is not the year we just gonna talk about it, right? I'm not talking to you as if I'm not going to move according to what the Lord told me to do, right? And so I'm very grateful to God. I already have a couple of churches that are interested in signing up and being a part to help their ministerial staffs and things of that nature in that way. And this is a full circle moment. The Lord showed me a vision of me when I was 16. This was 2 nights ago, and I remember teaching Sunday school in front of a room full of people and not having a clue what I was talking about, but trying to navigate through certain texts, right? And the Lord showed me, he was like, now 21 years later, this is the next level, right? It's not only being in Sunday school, but now it's creating your own school to help people to live beyond Sunday morning, right? And I was 16 teaching the adult class, mind you. So that's why my nerves is bad, because there was people in there with, doctorates in theology and PhDs and, ministry and all this stuff. And here I come 16, talking like I got it, right? Messing up and saying stuff crazy and wrong and just all of it, right? And learning the ropes. But we've graduated from Sunday school to now creating our own school. And I'm grateful to God to be able to allow this to be seen and experienced throughout the world. So, facts, ministry beyond Sunday morning. Absolutely. So, it's important and it's imperative for you to do what God is calling for you to do. Don't overcomplicate it. Start where you are, start with what you have, and watch God breathe on what you're called to do, right? You don't have to overcomplicate what the Lord is pushing for you to do. Just trust his process and his plan and watch it work out on your behalf. So we will talk about this more in detail. You will see a graphic go up and a registration link that will take place regarding your attendance of the open house. That way we can just prepare appropriately and properly for that of February the 5th. So it is January the 29th, which means that is 7 days away. That will begin at 7 p.m. All right. And it'll probably be for about maybe 90 minutes. It will be virtual as well for those who want to be in attendance. So you'll be able to be there with us as we journey to do that as well. So again, we love you all. We honor you all. We appreciate you all. And we thank you all for your continued support of what it is that we do on this here, that of the Plow. All right. Grace and peace be multiplied. Again, if you want to watch miracles in your mouth or you want to hear exponential, you'll be able to do that. I had the privilege of preaching on the same day as my baby, Boo Boo, Zoe. And we had a glorious time in service. I wasn't sure if we was going to be able to preach, honestly, because it was that high of a time in worship. But God was glorified and lifted high, and we were able to see and experience God's presence on last Sunday. So please be sure and make sure to support what God is doing. Also, this Saturday, in 2 days, we have Heal Her Circles presenting Ready, Set, Heal. You can register for that via Eventbrite. That is also being held at 234 East Gitz Road, Suite 300. And we are again appreciative for all that the Lord will say and do in this season of our lives. So grace and peace be multiplied. God bless you. And we will see you all here, same back time, same back channel, as we continue to do what God has called for us to do. God bless. Bye-bye.